Good morning and welcome. Welcome, graduates. It's been a long time coming. It's wonderful to see all of you. My name is Perry Halkitis. I am the very proud Dean of the Rutgers School of Public Health. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I welcome all of you to our Convocation exercises celebrating the accomplishments and achievements of the classes of 2020, 2021, and 2022. Please note that while masks are not required, we are encouraging you to wear them. Please remain standing for the national anthem and lift every voice.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Please be seated. We start a new tradition this year. This is our first time at Jersey Mike's Arena for graduation. I'm incredibly proud that we were able to come into this space and continue to grow our school as we enhance our programming. Graduates, there is a Subway sandwich under your chair. No, there's not. So let me introduce, I have a pleasure of introducing someone right now who's gonna do a mini presentation. I just wanna say that Dr. Rafael Perez-Figueroa is one of our newest faculty members of our school. I've had the pleasure of knowing Rafael for many years, and last year sometime, as we were looking for our new Associate Dean for Community Engagement and Public Health Practice, I thought, he doesn't want to be in Kentucky, he wants to be in New Jersey. And so here he is. So it is my great honor to introduce Dr. Rafael Perez Figueroa, Associate Dean of Community Engagement and Public Health Practice, to read the Rutgers University Land Acknowledgement. Rafael.
Thank you, Dean Halkiris. Rutgers University is committed to the histories, present realities, and future possibilities between indigenous people, the institution, and the land. We acknowledge that the land on which we stand is the ancestral territory of the Lenape people. We pay respect to indigenous people throughout the Lenape diaspora, past, present, and future, and honor those that have been historically and systematically disenfranchised. We also acknowledge that Rutgers University, like New Jersey and the United States as a nation, was founded upon the exclusions and erasures of indigenous people. And while acknowledging this, we commit to work in the pursuit of equity and justice.
Thank you, Rafael. Appreciate that. Chancellor Strom, Board of Governor members, Dr. and Rears, Mayor Andre Sayeh, honored guests, family, and friends, welcome to our celebration. Graduates from the classes of 2020, 2021, and 2022, I hope you will take this time to reflect on what you have achieved in reaching this point in your lives and the significance this accomplishment holds for you and your families, friends, teachers, and for us as a school. It should not be lost on you that you have earned your public health degree in the midst of a pandemic that has taken more than 1 million lives in the United States and over 6 million globally. Throughout the pandemic, all of you worked tirelessly through your various jobs, vast research, timely educational experiences, and then community-engaged volunteer activities. I have thought long and hard about what to say during this year's graduation speech, and I'm not sure that words enough will capture the totality of what the world has lived through over the course of the last 2 years. I would like to acknowledge all the frontline workers, who include healthcare professionals, Amazon delivery drivers, supermarket clerks, postal workers, and public health leaders like you, who place their lives in peril and on hold to see us through this pandemic. Thank you. I also want to acknowledge the scientists who work diligently to develop public health strategies and biomedical interventions, including vaccines, as well as vaccination programs that have undoubtedly saved millions of lives. Unfortunately, the pandemic is not over. In fact, in many ways, we have much more work ahead of us as we move to address the long-term biomedical, psychological, and social implications, which have exacerbated the already vast health disparities experienced by many in the United States. But I am confident. I am confident because dedicated public health leaders, scholars, practitioners, and activists like you who will lead us into a better tomorrow. Public health is a vast field, and I could spend hours describing and defining it. Instead, I leave you with this advice. Your work must center on improving and moving forward the health and well-being of the people and populations of New Jersey, the United States, and the world by using a lens of social justice and health equity. By doing this, you will not only address the challenges of COVID-19, but also those of healthcare access, environmental injustice, and much more. Your education and training, but mostly your resilience, will pave the way forward for our field, for the health and well-being of the people and populations, and for a more just and equitable world. So in closing, let me state these affirmations. Public health matters. It has always mattered. And we, better than any other discipline, understand how politics shape the public's health. So honor leaders like Mayor Sayed, who led and continues to lead the city of Patterson through the COVID-19 crisis with intelligence and humanity. At the same time, challenge those leaders who undermine science and make us sicker because of the misinformation they perpetuate. Speak out against laws that strip people of their rights, whether they are reproductive rights of women or of sexual and gender minority rights of LGBTQ+ people. Combat the xenophobia that keeps those most in need of our country's resources out of our country, in great part due to the shade or color of their skin. And fight with every ounce of power for healthcare access for all. In the late 1980s and 1990s, I was your age, and I fought with every ounce of my being against the ravages of age, which was creating ravages in our country and the bigotry and the hate that accompanied it. Now, at 59, look pretty good, right? Yeah. Now at 59, I'm a little more tired and my muscles a bit more sore, but my commitments to fighting these injustices are as powerful and even more so than when I was 29. So count me in as you fight in these crucial battles that may ultimately be the undoing of our nation's health. I will look to you to lead the way, challenge the norms, fight for the rights of people, and improve the health of our population here in New Jersey, throughout the country, and around the world. I, in turn, promise you that we, the faculty and staff, will continue to build a school of public health of which you will be proud to be an alum. So, dear graduates, go out and make those dreams for a better and healthier world come true. As I conclude, let me simply say, well done, graduates. Congratulations to you all, and congratulations to those who in your life have supported you through your journeys. As I conclude these remarks, let us take a moment to honor our public health heroes. It now gives me great honor to introduce our next speaker, Chancellor Brian Strom. Dr. Strom is the inaugural Chancellor of Rutgers Biomedical and Health Sciences and the Executive Vice President for Health at Rutgers University, overseeing 8 schools and 5 centers and institutes, which include academic, patient care, and research unit. Dr. Strom's intelligence and leadership have transformed Rutgers Biomedical and Health Sciences, and his vision aligns with our direction as our school. Chancellor Strom will now bring greetings on behalf of the university. Dr. Strom is someone whom I have enormous respect, with whom I love to engage in debate and share, most importantly, my favorite programs to stream, which I just told him about Candy on Hulu, which I'm going to recommend to you too. So in short, let me introduce my dear colleague and friend, Dr. Brian Strom.
So thank you, Dean Halkitis, members of the faculty, students, family, friends, and distinguished guests. I must say you're going to hear a lot of the same themes in my talk as you heard from Perry's, which of course shouldn't be a terrible surprise. First, it's wonderful to see you all in person with your guests and families. It's been too rare a treat these past 2.5 years to celebrate together. So let us recognize how valuable these times together can be. Second, my role this morning, as Perry alluded to, is to provide greetings and congratulations on behalf of the Rutgers Biomedical and Health Sciences community. So, greetings. As President Franklin Delano Roosevelt advised, there are 3 B's to good public speaking. Be sincere. Second, be brief. And third, be seated. I shall endeavor to follow his advice this morning, but not quite yet. So third, I want to welcome you and your classmates to the global community of public health professionals. This is a fellowship which transcends borders, languages, cultures, and disciplines. As you join this larger community, I appeal to you to recall your professors, mentors, and colleagues, and become active in your alumni association. These relationships and your personal connection to the school and university will endure throughout your professional careers. A little over 2 years ago, we awoke to the reality of the first global pandemic of our lifetimes, and as an epidemiologist, I won't promise you it's the last. The first confirmed case of the novel coronavirus was detected in New Jersey in March of 2020. In the days since, as Perry alluded to, more than 33,000 of our fellow New Jersey residents have perished, over 1 million have died in the US, and well over 6 million have died worldwide. From the beginning, Rutgers was on the front lines. Our providers were on the front lines battling a strange and frightening organism new to this world while trying to provide the care for our patients that they needed to stay healthy. Our healthcare heroes cared for the sick and dying, braving what was arguably the worst outbreak of COVID-19 in the nation in spring of 2020, working at risk to their own lives and to those of their families. You and your colleagues pitched in as well. You partnered with the state to launch a contact tracing initiative to track and mitigate the spread of the disease, as well as many other volunteer and other initiatives. It is the finest and most robust contact tracing program New Jersey has ever seen. Parenthetically, at the beginning of the pandemic, what was calculated was a state the size of New Jersey needed 2,000 contact tracers. In the entire country, there were 2,000 contact tracers. That's how underfunded public health has been all these years. And with funding from the state, the school turned around and trained for the state 2,000 contact tracers. You provided timely and scientifically accurate advice and guidance to the media and to the state and local governments. We owe all our healthcare heroes in every discipline a debt of gratitude for putting the public and their patients' needs first, tending to our loved ones, and keeping the rest of us safe. Our scientists were constantly innovating, developing new tests, conducting trials for new treatments, testing vaccines, and studying public health interventions. Through our diligence and cooperation, we helped keep our campus and in turn our friends and families safe. We should all be extraordinarily proud of the Rutgers community and how we've come together and made meaningful contributions in all aspects of our mission areas through this pandemic. Many of us did not understand the drastic ways our lives would change, the personal and societal toll this pandemic would cause, and the resilience we would need to overcome it. Again, a word Perry used before me. While we hope the worst of the pandemic is now in our collective rearview mirror as we move into our new normal, we must maintain vigilance and take heed of the lessons learned. We've all learned the importance of resilience in the face of uncertainty and how drastically devastation is heightened by systemic disparities and inequity in care. You would not have chosen to be, but you always will be now, a part of the pandemic generation. but I'm heartened that so many of your friends and colleagues of your generation have a renewed appreciation for science and a reinvigorated spirit and belief in the importance of public health. Parenthetically, we as epidemiologists used to walk around with t-shirts going, "No, I'm not a skin doctor." Now everybody knows what an epidemiologist is. So today, as we celebrate you and recognize your years of hard work and preparation that have brought you here, I'm confident that we can count on each of you to continue this work, to continue to serve the public and to strive for equity, create meaningful policy changes, and to champion public health interventions for a healthier and better prepared future. In fact, now we need you more than ever. The Great Resignation is impacting all fields, but it has hit the health field particularly hard. Never before in our living history have we seen such a powerful illustration of the impact of public health and healthcare and biomedical research on society and our collective well-being. We need your skills, commitment, and compassion to fill these shoes. In your careers, whether they be in public health practice, academia, or government, aim higher, reach further, strive for impact. And passion is critical because it fuels the perseverance and discipline that are vital to keep the public healthy, educating vulnerable populations, combating misinformation and disinformation, and supplying the data and the science to make informed policy decisions. Follow your passions and stay true to your convictions, and success will follow in any path you choose. Confident that what you've learned here at the Rutgers School of Public Health will carry you through to a successful future in whatever path you choose. Now more than ever, the field of public health demands all the skill, tenacity, and innovative thinking that you can muster. We will apply the theory and practice of public health for the benefit of individuals, families, communities, and society as a whole. And we will deploy our skills to inform public policy, increase the health of the population, and preserve the human dignity of everyone. What you do will impact lives in the most direct and meaningful ways, and that is the greatest joy and privilege. You have answered a noble cause to serve others, and we will be the better for your dedication and your selflessness. Lastly, and most importantly, this is a day of great personal achievement for each of you and a culmination of your educational careers so far. Class of 2022, today is the day when your professors look at you not as their students, but as their colleagues. So to quote President Holloway, I can look out into the audience today and I can say, this is what excellence looks like. We are so proud to be a part of your day, to enjoy your success, and to share it with your friends and family. So on behalf of all the administration, faculty, and staff of Rutgers Biomedical and Health Sciences, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Strom, for those wonderful words. And, you know, we've talked a lot about COVID this morning and what it's done to our society. You know, I want you all, I've been saying this to my family and friends. I go off script all the time. I've been telling my family and friends to think about one good thing that happened as a result of COVID. And I want to challenge you all to think about one thing that was for the positive, because every cloud has a silver lining. And there has to be something good that came out of it. For me personally, it was all of a sudden, I like Taylor Swift, which is like a big accomplishment for me. So I'll take a small reward here. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Strom. One of the first emails I received when I assumed the role of dean was from our next speaker, someone who I turn to for advice when my Greek temper gets the best of me. He knows how to handle me because he's married to a Greek man, so he knows how to keep me in line. Dr. Doherty is the former chair of the Rutgers University Board of Trustees and is a current member of the Rutgers University Board of Governors and the Rutgers School of Public Health Dean's Leadership Council. He is also involved with the Center for Social Justice Education and LGBT Communities. Dr. Doherty is a great spokesperson for our school and someone who has become a wonderful friend. Dr. Doherty brings greetings from the governing boards of the university. Dr. James Doherty.
Chancellor Strom, Dean Halkitis, Mayor Saye, members of the faculty, students, family, friends, and distinguished guests, I am pleased and humbled that all of you have joined us for this celebratory morning. First, I would like to congratulate Dean Halkitis on a beautiful and successful convocation ceremony, his 5th at the helm of the Rutgers School of Public Health. In this time of ever-accelerating change and interconnectedness as we try to exit from this pandemic, Dean Halkitis' perspectives and experiences are crucial in guiding our school to provide our students with relevant, forward-thinking skills. Since Dr. Halkitis has arrived, the school has grown in size and stature. He has recruited stellar new faculty, supported the development of new areas of study at the school, such as LGBTQ+ health, population aging, and pharmacoepidemiology, and ensured that students are receiving an education and experience that is rooted in social justice and health equity. Thank you, Dean Halkitis. Plato is often quoted as saying, "Knowledge without justice ought to be called cunning rather than wisdom." And we believe, as Plato suggests, that those who learn are then obliged to act. It's an ideal that Dean Halkitis repeats often when he speaks about public health as a discipline rooted in social justice and health equity. We are a discipline that embraces the idea that a long and healthy life should not depend on where people live, how much they earn, who they love, or their ethnic background. Reality does not always live up to that expectation. Today, you are joining a community of people who are committed to promoting health and wellness. We are a community driven by research, education, and service. We hope that in your time at the Rutgers School of Public Health, you've learned not only the hard skills necessary to advance public health as a discipline, but also have come to appreciate the human elements that give our work meaning. We are a community that strives to learn about what drives both health and the lack thereof. You are about to embark on a journey where you will use your knowledge and perspectives to shape policy, promote health, and protect dignity. I can't promise you that it's always going to be easy. There are going to be trials and frustration. But never lose sight of the fact that your skills are necessary. You are needed, and you will always be needed. Today marks our school's 37th convocation ceremony and 39th year as a school. This past Sunday, we marked the 256th commencement for Rutgers, and I hope that many of you were able to attend that ceremony. We couldn't be prouder of our esteemed faculty, staff, and our nearly 2,800 alumni whose influence reaches from our own communities in New Jersey to every inhabitant continent the world over. And we couldn't be more thrilled to embrace these new graduates today. Graduates, when we leave this place today, we do so with a relationship that is forever changed. We are no longer professors and students, mentors and colleagues, proteges, we are colleagues. We are united by an indelible common bond dedicated to improving the quality of health and in turn, quality of life everywhere. We are so thrilled and honored that you chose us and that we are able to share in this celebration of your successes with you, your family, and your friends. On behalf of the administration, faculty, staff of Rutgers University, congratulations. Thank you. Dean Halkitis.
Have you seen the socks that the mayor and I are wearing? They're pretty good. Look at them. The support, Dr. Doherty, the support that the Rutgers University Governing Board gives our school is greatly appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce a member of the faculty who has made significant scholarly contributions on behalf of our school. Richard Thurman Barnes is an associate professor in the Department of Urban Global Public Health and the assistant director of the New Jersey Gun Violence Research Center, a center that resonates today as powerfully or even more powerfully after what has occurred this week in Buffalo and in other parts of our country. And someone who I'm very proud to know as a member of our faculty. Professor Barnes brings greetings on behalf of the Rutgers School of Public Health. Professor Barnes.
I'm so thankful for this moment because I get to take this mask off. I was struggling to breathe the last hour. Good morning to the class of 2020, to the class of 2021, and the class of 2022. Good morning to the parents, the family, the grandparents, the friends who have some fingerprints on your accomplishment today. What encouraging words can I say to those who've endured so much over the last 2 years? I feel like we have to deal with the elephant in the room, and others have touched on it already, the global pandemic. I want to start by simply saying pandemics suck. I hope my position on the pandemic is clear. It sucks. You've probably endured more than any other graduating class in recent memory, but you are still here, standing. Frankly, I don't know how you did it. Assignments, papers, projects, classes, asynchronous, synchronous, while somehow managing your well-being. If it wasn't for prayer and some responsible amount of bourbon, I might not be here today. Over the last 2 years, each of you had your lives interrupted in such a crucial time. We all experienced loss of some kind. There's certainly been the painful loss of life, and that's never easy. There were other losses or things that did not happen because of the pandemic. Weddings were canceled, travel restricted, and graduation postponed, something you know too well. Not to mention the many activities that contribute to the academic experience. It's human nature to focus on what was lost in moments and times like this in life. However, I want you to consider just for a moment what you may have gained. There's a phrase that is a couple thousand years old, and it translates to iron sharpens iron. The phrase is almost universally interpreted to suggest that intelligent people benefit from questioning, encouraging, and challenging one another. This process is believed to sharpen the intellect and the character of the other, much like the experience in the classroom during your course of study. But I believe you can be sharpened by circumstances outside of the classroom. I can hear my father saying, life is the greatest teacher. And I think you know something about that today. Each of you is different today than you were 2 years ago. The circumstances were less than ideal, I'd admit, but I would imagine the pandemic taught you something new about yourself. Perhaps a better understanding of what you're made of, or your ability to adjust, to adapt. Adapting is usually not easy or convenient, but life will continue to demand it of you. It is your resilience that makes me confident in your ability to adapt, handle the inexplicable, overcome the unexpected, and walk confidently toward the unknown. Know that you are in good company. We saw a lot of public health professionals front and center over the last 2 years. At one point, you could not turn on a television without a morning show or evening news program talking about something public health related, something Dean Halkitis knows about. Like you, the country is different than it was 2 years ago. You see, while you were engrossed in your course of study, the country was enrolled in its own course of study, a crash course on the importance of public health. People are engaging in long overdue conversations on public health because of lessons learned over the last 2 years. Today, you graduate and enter a world that is expecting you, that is waiting on you, a world in need of your expertise. None of us knows what the future holds with any certainty, and that's okay. I wish I could stand here and tell you that it's smooth sailing from here on out, but that would be untrue and unnecessary because of who you are today. You are immensely prepared for whatever may come next. So I say to you, congratulations. Thank you. Dean Halkitis.
Thank you, Professor Barnes. So, just in case we thought, I'm going to put this plaque down here. Just in case we thought this pandemic was really gone, this next moment is going to be an indication that maybe it's not. I would like to introduce our class speaker, Gabriel Jacob. Gabrielle is receiving her Master of Public Health degree and will be providing today's address to the classes of 2020, 2021, and 2022. She is also the recipient of the 2022 Stanley S. Bergen Medal of Excellence. So she's unable to join us today. So Gabrielle is going to be talking to us in her recorded speech.
Hello, distinguished faculty, graduates, family, and friends. I would like to give a special thank you to Dean Halkides and the School of Public Health for recognizing my work with the 2022 Dr. Stanley S. Bergen Jr. Medal of Excellence. I am proud that the work that I've done is worthy of an award that highlights exceptional achievements in academic coursework, research, and scholarship. I am so excited to speak to everyone today. Before I give my speech, I just want to give a special shout out to my advisors, mentors, my family, the True Inclusion members, and my homegirls Asada and Adriana. Without them, I wouldn't be here giving the speech or receiving this award today. When I first started studying public health in my undergrad, I thought the core of public health stemmed from this vague idea of helping others and making a tangible impact on the world. Though over the past couple of years, I've been illuminated on how it is so much more. Public health is dynamic and is constantly evolving, with a new global health concern coming up every decade, and our field requiring us to become leaders so that we can rise up to these new challenges and continue to create a safer and healthier world through asking tough questions, confronting harsh realities, and fighting systems of injustice. And when I say public health requires us to be leaders, I know there are going to be a couple people in the room like, I'm not a leader, all this sounds nice and all, but that's just not me. I used to be like that as well. And a couple of years ago, I would have said the same exact thing. I feel like the traditional definition of leadership is so authoritative and demanding and completely out of bounds with the leadership work we do. To me, being a leader encompasses 4 essential ideas: opportunity, problem solving, vision, and trust. As I stand before you, I'm a combination of opportunities I have been given to achieve my passion. I can confidently say that the School of Public Health is an institution that sees no limit to what public health is, from toxicology to data science, and emphasizes professional engagement in all of its students. We have all had the opportunity not only to build a strong foundation in public health, but also challenge the status quo through community engagement, research, scholarship, and policy. And throughout the pandemic and during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, we continued to work tirelessly to ensure the health of our community and to uplift those most vulnerable. Many students here became part of the contact tracing workforce and went on to support their local health departments, especially those in low income or predominantly Black and Latina areas. During this difficult time, I renewed my commitment to public health to address these key issues within my own community. Racial injustice is not just police brutality. It permeates throughout our society, corrupting everything it touches. In my experience as a Black student, the implications of racial injustice was felt through my education and my sense of belonging. That summer, I co-wrote a 50-page call to action called Anti-Blackness in the Honors College, which aimed to improve the culture of the Honors College through reforms rooted in cultural competency. My vision for the HC to embody cultural competency allowed me to ask tough questions like, why is this institution only reactive to racial issues? Confront the harsh reality that Black student enrollment was dwindling with each class year, and to create a framework to make the HC more inclusive. Our call to action became a roadmap for us to transform the Honors College through our organization called True Inclusion, in which we enacted our vision through curricular and institutional reform, like a required 1-credit cross-cultural competency course for HC freshmen. Although my co-founders, Asada and Adriana, have pointed to me as the visionary of the group, nothing was possible without the trust and support of others. Our success was achieved through the trust and hard work of our True Inclusion members and leaders, and the support from alumni, faculty, and staff at the Honors College and Rutgers at large. This formative experience taught me that true leadership is rooted in community and trust. For many of us, public health is not just an occupation, it's a vocation, a calling to protect and promote the health of the community. For everyone today, you have all forged experiences in true leadership and developed tenacity to withstand any challenge that stood in your way. We have all traversed through some of the most difficult times of our personal and academic lives, all in the hopes of the betterment of society, though the journey does not stop here. As my speech comes to a close, I have two asks. Number one, give opportunity to others so they too can become leaders of tomorrow, whether through mentorship, volunteering, research, activism, policy change. Let your work be a gateway for someone to find their passion and work on their vision for a brighter future. And number two, continue to challenge yourself and push your boundaries and limitations. Our potential does not stop here, and we should continue to grow to prepare ourselves for new opportunities and experiences. I know for me, I would take my own advice as I embark on a new journey as an English teacher in South Korea as part of the Fulbright US program. And as we all embark on our journey beyond the School of Public Health, I urge all of you to continue to center your leadership in community and to utilize your passion and knowledge to become the innovators of tomorrow and to tackle the next generation's challenges. Thank you, everyone.
I'm sure, Gabrielle, we're being live streamed on the World Wide Web as we speak. So I'm sure Gabrielle is watching us. Gabrielle, thank you for those remarks, and we'll see you in person soon. In 2001, the Rutgers School of Public Health established the Senator Frank R. Lautenberg Award and Lecture in Public Health in recognition of the leadership on public health issues that Senator Lautenberg provided in Congress. Each year we give it to another exceptional public health leader. The person we're giving it to today, who I will introduce in a moment, is somebody who when I first met, and I met him electronically, you know when you meet people and it's like, oh my God, magic. So this is the magic I felt when I met the mayor, and who is our recipient today. So let me say something. It is my pleasure and honor. Let me do the professional part. It is my honor and privilege to announce Andre Sayeh, Mayor of Patterson, as the 2022 Senator Frank R. Lautenberg Annual Awardee. Round of applause for the mayor. If you've been following anything in politics over the last 2 years, you have seen the mayor up front. So Mayor Sayeh exemplifies our school's ethos through his lifelong dedication to public service, founded upon creating safer communities for all people and populations through collaboration and innovation. As mayor of Patterson since 2018, and he just got reelected. Round of applause for the mayor. And previous councilman for a decade, Mayor Sayeh has been steadfast in rebuilding and inspiring the Patterson community. From infrastructure initiatives that have improved parks and generated economic growth, through business redevelopment, to dedicating resources to ensure public safety, he has advocated for the holistic health and well-being of all Patterson residents. In 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic confronted the world, Mayor Sayeh worked tirelessly to protect and serve the Patterson community by fostering relationships with community partners and devising innovative programs for testing and vaccination efforts, including mobile testing and vaccination sites. The mayor ensured access to all COVID-19 resources to improve the health outcomes for all. To date, the mayor and the Patterson community boast a 100% vaccination rate based on the New Jersey Department of Health's measure for adults 18 and over receiving at least one dose. That is a major accomplishment. Patterson continues to vaccinate its uncounted and unhoused populations. Mayor Sayeh's advocacy and healthcare initiatives extend beyond COVID-19. In January 2022, Mayor Sayeh announced Patterson was one of the 15 cities worldwide to be awarded a $1 million grant through the Bloomberg Philanthropies Mayor Competition. This award will support Patterson's Real Fix program, designed in collaboration with the Rutgers School of Public Health and the Rutgers New Jersey Medical School, Dr. Stanley Weiss, to combat opioid addiction and the ongoing opioid crisis. In short, the mayor is like our school. He keeps the public in public health. He's also my genetic relative, I'm sure. We have some like DNA in common here. So it is with great pleasure that I now present the 2022 Senator Frank F. Lautenberg Annual Award to Mayor Sayeh, who will address the classes of 20, 21, and 22. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Dean. I'm Andre Sayeh, and I approve that message. Thank you. So the Dean mentioned that one good thing that came out of the pandemic was the fact that he likes Taylor Swift. I understand you extended an invitation for Taylor Swift to address the class today, but unfortunately she was not available. I think she's at NYU, and now you're stuck with me. And now that we're at Jersey Mike's Arena, you can't help but be hungry, right? And I really believe that there was a sandwich underneath my seat. But we're at Jersey Mike's Arena, and there's no reason why we can't help but be happy, considering what we've had to endure for the last 2 years, especially some of you who've been waiting for this moment for 2 years. I'm the mayor who had to wear the mask. You're the class or classes that had to wear the masks. And even though I'm wearing my Seton Hall socks, my confession is that I've always been fond of Rutgers. I just couldn't get accepted into the school. And I'm fond of this school because of a variety of reasons. And I've actually petitioned to see if Rutgers University could become an Ivy League school. Because if you think about it, you were founded before the Revolution in 1766. And you're on the East Coast, which I think is part of the criteria. The only thing missing is I don't think you have any ivy on any walls in the school, so maybe that should be our post-graduation project. But I'm fond of this school for other reasons as well, because it is the home of the Scarlet Knights. It's the home of the Fat Cat Sandwich. And it's the home of the best school of public health on the planet. I think I'm going to be held to that, right? And every other school is going to call me out. And speaking of home, I bring greetings from my home, Patterson, with one T. Patterson is the first planned industrial city in the United States of America, founded by someone I'm sure you know, Perry, Alexander Hamilton, made famous by a Broadway musical. It is also New Jersey's most diverse city. So if you want to celebrate diversity, celebrate in Patterson. And Patterson is the home of the Great Falls, great food. We don't have a Jersey Mike's, but we have falafel and hummus, and a great future. And that's what you have, a great future. But we can't talk about the future without reflecting on the past and the lessons that we've learned from this once-in-a-century crisis. I often say, you know you can trust someone after they've been tested. Well, we've been tested, and now we can be trusted. And I want to reflect back on April 2019. My public health officer came to me and said, Mayor, we have to apply for this grant. And granted, it was only $95,000. But the grant was to build capacity within our contact tracing team. And at that time, which is now 3+ years ago, that was a foreign term to many of us, including myself. So I gave the green light, and in November of 2019, we were awarded $95,000 to build capacity within our contact tracing team. And the reason why we applied the grant is because in the event there was a foodborne outbreak at one of the many catering halls in the Patterson area, namely the Brownstone, made famous by the Housewives of New Jersey, or Manzo'd with Children. If there was a foodborne outbreak, we could stop the spread. Now that was November of 2019, and little did we know. I mean, we can claim to be clairvoyant and we had the prescience to see, but no, we did not see what would happen. And a few months later, that contact tracing team wouldn't be dealing with a foodborne outbreak, it would be dealing with COVID-19. I'm proud of the work that Patterson did during this pandemic. In fact, we were featured 3 times in the New York Times for what we did. Our fire department with the EMT response, and also ordering enough personal protection equipment for not only first responders, but for our hospital who was in dire need of PPE. And then our contact tracing team was recognized nationally for what they did. And for the most part, it was a lot of working mothers who were taking work home and working around the clock to slow the spread. Because not only is Patterson the most diverse city in the state, it is one of the most densely populated cities in the country. And so when it spreads, there's no stopping it. And for some people who don't have optimal living conditions, they can't quarantine, they can't isolate themselves. So if one person in the house of 11 gets it, all 11 get it. And Perry, that actually did happen. 11 people in the house got it immediately. But our contact tracers did what they could to slow the spread and then ultimately crush the curve. But we also were recognized for our vaccination program. But we also drew a great deal of criticism as well. Because when we opened up one of our schools as our point of dispensing, people said you should only have it for Patterson residents. And my thought was, no, this is a global crisis. It's a humanitarian effort. The virus doesn't discriminate, and neither should we. So anyone, irrespective of his or her zip code, could come to our point of dispensing and get vaccinated. I often remember a story of a man who lived in a neighboring town, Clifton. Anybody from Clifton here? Good, I could talk about it. He came from Clifton, and he said to me, Mayor, I'm 95 years old. I don't live in Patterson, but I want to live. How do you say no to a gentleman like that? And so Patterson could not fail a friend. Any neighbor in need, as long as we had enough vaccine, was going to get vaccinated in Patterson. And we knew that vaccine hesitancy did exist. And so what we did is we recruited credible messengers and opened up houses of worship so that if an individual didn't feel comfortable, they can go to a church or a mosque and get vaccinated. And we mobilized to the point that our state health commissioner, who needs no introduction, Judy Persicilli, commended Patterson for having the highest vaccination rate in the state of New Jersey. And so we have saved lives as a part of this pandemic. And I always equate this crisis to having an X-ray performed on our society. And what do the results show? There are so many broken bones that exist in our society today. That there are many inequities, whether it's healthcare or racial inequities that exist. But I have a challenge for the class of 2020, class of 2021, and class of 2022. You're going to repair those broken bones. You're going to help us heal. You've been tested. You can be trusted. Now we need you more than ever. If you never thought public health was paramount, if you never thought that public health was a priority, think again. You are by far some of the most essential individuals in our society today. We need your help to heal. So today, we celebrate your resilience, but we also celebrate your brilliance. We're looking for heroes, and I'm glad that I have them right in front of me. Congratulations, class of 2020, 2021, and 2022.
I have to give him his plaque or he's going to leave without it. Like, you want this plaque. It's important. So, Mayor, I'm so honored that the mayor chose to be with us here today and really, to speak about the, to give you guys some inspiration for the work that you need to do. And there's a lot of work ahead of us. We all know that, and we're going to do it, right? We're just going to muddle through it, and we're going to do it. When the mayor was talking, I was thinking about some of the weird situations in our society, right? We continue to deal with this pandemic. My best friend forever, since I've been 4 years old, went to Mexico recently. He tested positive. He couldn't come back into the country for a week. But if he was in Alabama, he could come back to New Jersey. So we have to think about, my dear public health leaders, how policies like that continue to perpetuate pandemics. I'm not picking on Alabama. Yes, I am. Let's go. So, thank you, Mayor. It was amazing. At this time, I would like to acknowledge, we're getting to the student part now, the most important part of the ceremony. I would like to recognize the members of the Rutgers School of Public Health community who are being inducted into Delta Omega. Delta Omega is the National Honorary Society for Graduate Studies in Public Health. Their membership in Delta Omega is a symbol of their significant achievement while enrolled at our school. With those being inducted later this afternoon, please stand to be recognized. You will receive one of these lovely commemorative pins this afternoon at the awards ceremony. Thank you, congratulations. We have now come to the time to recognize our graduates from the last 3 years classes. They include those who are receiving a post-baccalaureate certificate, Master of Public Health degree, Master of Science degree, and Doctor of Philosophy or Doctor of Public Health degree. Dr. Michael Vega, who also got his PhD in the middle of all of this, so congratulations to Dr. Vega. Talk about resilience, right? Is our Assistant Dean for Student Services and Alumni Affairs, and he'll be reading the names of our graduates by class year. Doctoral graduates from the classes of 2021, 2020, 2021, and 2022 will have their names called and be hooded at the end of the ceremony after all other student names are read. Ms. Claire Brown, Assistant Director of Student Support Services, will present our graduates with important information about staying connected to our school. Mr. Anthony Chung, Associate Dean for Finance and Administration, will be giving, what will you be doing, Anthony, exactly? You will be giving graduates their alumni pin. Do not lose your alumni pin. I'm telling you right now. After they walk across the stage. And I think we're ready to roll, Dr. Vega, correct?
Yeah, the part you've
Are
all
you
been
ready?
waiting for.
Are you ready? Let's do it. Let's do it.
So graduates, please follow the directions of the individuals asking you to rise. And this year, in lieu of a handshake, you may choose to elbow bump the dean before posing for a photo with him. And it is now with great pleasure that we first recognize graduates from the class of 2020. And for those of you who are here to support and celebrate all of our graduates, you might hear at other graduations, wait till the end for the applause. We waited too long. You can feel free to celebrate throughout the entire time. So when your person is called, I want to hear you congratulate. I want to hear you scream. I want to hear you applaud. They deserve it. So first, recognizing our Master of Science in Biostatistics degree graduates of 2020 who are receiving the Master of Science in Biostatistics degree, come forward. The external color of the Master of Science hood is gold. So Zipeng Chen. Kai Feng. Yang Zhang Li. So we now recognize our 2020 Master of Science in Health, Outcomes, Policy, and Economics degree graduates. First, Priti Shah. We now recognize our 2020 Master of Public Health degree graduates. Now will the graduates of the class of 2020 receiving their Master of Public Health come forward. The external color of the Master of Public Health hood is salmon pink, the official color of public health and denotes the profession. Up, we have Courtney Tilton. Philomena Obi. Joshua Liu. Kiana Rhymes. Ebony Felton. Would everyone please give me a round of applause for all of our 2020 graduates? It is now with great pleasure that we recognize graduates from the class of 2021. As a reminder, all of our doctoral graduates from the class of 2020, 2021, and 2022 will have their name called and be hooded at the end of the ceremony. I know, they're all so excited. So we now recognize our 2021 Master of Science in Biostatistics degree students. Up first, Mei Zhen Yao. We now recognize our 2021 Master of Science in Health Outcomes, Policy and Economics degree graduates. Catherine Gamble. Radha Riali. We now recognize our 2021 Master of Public Health degree graduates. Karis Chukwuka. Samantha Orifice. Juliana Wisniewski. Priyanka Patel. Kezia Boben. Alexandra Fox. Daria McLam. Trevor Martindale. Yatunde Lana. Now let's give another round of applause for all of our 2021 graduates. It is now with great pleasure that we recognize graduates from the class of 2022. Starting with our graduates from the Master of Science in Biostatistics degree. Zhe Fan Kuo. Daniel Yen. Ziyi Wang. Yuyi Wang. Siyu Lin. Wanru In. Minyoung Zhang. Oluwakoin Sola. Olagbegi. Olatiru Olagbegi. Let me get it right. Rachel Lee. Rimsha Khan. Jeet Bhavsar. I'm your biggest fan, I'll follow you. Kwame Ose. James Keegan. We now move to our Master of Science in Health Outcomes, Policy, and Economics. Nita Emran. Tejaswini Sridhar. Rutvi Upadhyay. Now I'm going to ask our 2022 graduates who just lined up just to wait by the side for a little bit. We have a special recognition first. So before we recognize the rest of our 2022 Master of Public Health degree graduates, we'd like to begin by recognizing McKenna Winnie, who is receiving her Master of Public Health degree posthumously. A 21st century scholar who was passionate about social justice and advocacy for policies that reduce health disparities, McKenna was working towards a Master of Public Health degree in the Department of Health Behavior, Society, and Policy at the Rutgers School of Public Health. She was also pursuing a Master of Public Policy degree at the Edward J. Blaustein School of Planning and Public Policy. McKenna was a beloved member of the Rutgers community who had a huge impact on her fellow classmates, mentors, faculty, staff, and colleagues at the Rutgers Institute for Health, Healthcare Policy, and Aging Research, where she worked as a research assistant under the direction of Dr. Ashley Grosso. She was also a contact tracer for the Passaic County Department of Health. Prior to joining Rutgers, McKenna graduated from the University of Delaware, where she helped expand a Delaware youth program, mentored for Teachers of Tomorrow, and worked as a research assistant for a national initiative to assist individuals with disabilities. McKenna's family is here with us today and will be receiving her degree on her behalf. Please stand as members of McKenna's family receive her degree from Dean Halkitis. McKenna touched many, and she will be remembered fondly. You may be seated. Now, will the remaining graduates from the class of 22 who are receiving their Master of Public Health degree please come forward to be recognized. Bayan Rashid. Emily Hennig. Jasmine Glover. Ashley Chin. Mitchell Marcus. Amani Winter. Stephanie Powell. Kefe Lee. Anam Paroya. Megan Romanovich. Raymashri Krishnaraj. Modupe Akinmade. Janki Patel. Runal Dewey. Mikyas Doga. Julius Baggio. Kylie Davidson. Ruthvi Ravani. Lily Black. Erica Weber. Rushna Mosen. Julia Foreman. Andrea Chelaraj. Mitali Dikshit. Devani Allen. Frederick Liu. Humberto Jimenez. Somi Kim. Alisa Fatima. Vanshika Sharma. Lori Herrick. Ashley Rosal. Krupa Shah. Samantha Schliffer. Natale Mazzaferro. Kelly Pimenta. Maria Ciccone. Shivani Patel. Sachi Patel. Juhi Vedia. Vanessa Martinez. Adrian Breckheimer. Dana Nigel. Tamara Sullivan. Oriana Colbert. Jessica Retuerto. Kaylee Hinton. Madeline Tanus. Varsha Shrinet. Emily Coakley. Ayana King. Soraya Underwood. Tendai Chihuri. Anshul Watts. Luz Sandoval. Sarah Zanzul. Amalie Garcia Vargas. Alexia Young. Madeline Hernandez Picardo. Abigail Amponsa. Chinwei Igwe. Priscilla Markin. Leslie Gentles. Victoria Staromiejeska. Taylor Ivy. Brianna Morgan. So congratulations to all of our Master of Science in Biostat, Master of Science in Health Outcomes, Policy and Economics, and Master of Public Health students. Congratulations. We will now move on to our doctoral hooding ceremony. This is a special recognition of our Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Public Health graduates, where the individual's mentor places a doctoral hood over the head of the graduate, which signifies a successful completion of the program. So now our doctoral graduates can move up forward. And we will begin with our 2020 Doctor of Philosophy graduates. Dr. Uma Swami Bruin is being hooded by Dr. Jun Young Hung. Dr. Kristen D. Krause is being hooded by Dr. Perry N. Halkitis. We will now hood our 2021 Doctor of Philosophy graduates. Sarah El Nakib is being hooded by Dr. Mark Gregory Robson. Dr. Sue Young No is being hooded by Dr. Patrick R. Clifford. Dr. Wei Wang is being hooded by Dr. Yang Lin. Oh. We will now hood our 2022 Doctor of Philosophy graduates. Dr. Riddhi Ashok Babel is being hooded by Dr. Henry F. Raymond. Dr. Jing Yu Huang is being hooded by Dr. Yang Lin. Dr. Thanawat Ratanawitun is being hooded by Dr. Mark Gregory Robeson. Dr. Binu Singh is being hooded by Dr. Christine Del Nivo. Dr. Ryan Douglas White is being hooded by Dr. Alan Monheit. And Dr. Peng Zhang is being hooded by Dr. Yang Lin. Let's give a round of applause for all of our Doctor of Philosophy graduates. We will now hood our Doctor of Public Health graduate. You got it, girl. Dr. Josephine Shanuda is being hooded by Dr. Emily Barrett. Congratulations to all of our graduates, our families, friends, loved ones, and guests. Let's hear it for them. You did it.
You absolutely did it. One more round of applause. Come on, loud. Congratulations. Like, that was fun. I forgot how much fun that was. Congratulations, graduates. It's amazing. It was a little known fact. Dr. Kraus, who I just hooded, which was my first doctoral student who I hooded here at this, who I graduated here at the school, defended her dissertation the day before we went on lockdown. So we will forever remember that day as March 12th, before the whole world just sort of stopped. So Kristen, rock on. Here we go. Yeah. So in closing, we express our appreciation to Rutgers Biomedical and Health Sciences, the Rutgers University Governing Boards, and the university as a whole. I should also leave you with some words of wisdom, something I've learned in my 59 years of life. Look pretty good, right? Yeah, yeah. I suppose I could quote from one of my ancestral relatives, like Plato or Aristotle. That would be appropriate, right? But instead, there's a theme here today. I will leave you with the words of singer and songwriter Casey Musgraves, whose music was inspirational for the last 2 years. And here it is from one of her songs. Say what you think, love who you love, because you just get so many trips around the sun. You only live once. So make lots of noise. And follow your arrow wherever it points. Follow your arrow wherever it points. So in addition to those acknowledged earlier, I also want to express my appreciation to the staff and students who made this convocation a special event, including our faculty marshal, Dr. Koshi, and our gonfalon bearer, Dr. Kristen Kraus. Graduates, now it is time for you to express your thanks to your mentors and the loved ones here with you today who have supported you for your achievements. Give them a round of applause. That brings us to the conclusion of our ceremony. Thank you all for being with us, and we hope you can join us outside somewhere for a reception celebrating your achievements, which is taking place on the Livington Lawn tent that is visible from the front of the arena, I'm told. Graduates, please make your way to the front stairs after the faculty recessional. Families and guests, make your way out to meet your graduates outside. Please use the side exits. No one's going to do that. Right? Fine. Totally true. Dr. Koshi will now lead the recessional. Will the faculty please rise? One more big round of applause. Let's go.